If I were to start my investing journey today in 2026 toward true freedom a decade, maybe 2 decades from now, here are the 6 order of operation where I would park my money, where it would allow my money to grow my garner wealth so that I can pull the passive income a decade or 2 decades from now. Keep in mind, my order of operation is based on my needs and wants, based on my expected expenses. Yours may vary. And also, it is based on the current tax law that I'm aware of. Keep in mind, tax law changes every year, and who knows where it will be 10 years to 20 years out. Before I go over these 6 operations, I should put a disclaimer out there that I am not a tax specialist or a lawyer. Please consult with your financial advisor or lawyer for any legal or tax advice. I'm only sharing my failures, learnings, and successes. And keep in mind, true freedom is freedom to choose where to work, when to retire, when to pursue your passion or purpose, where work is not have to, but get to. The first thing I would do is contribute to 401k up to my employer's match. That is because it is part of my compensation. I am not going to voluntarily have a pay cut because I fail to leverage the employer's match. Also, I am not going to turn down a sale every single payday, every single Friday. It is almost like buy two, get one free, or 33% off based on the company's match, the scenario that I'm showing here. Every company has different matching structure. The example here is a tiered match assumption where a company match 100% on the first 3% and 50% on the next 2% of your contribution. If I'm lucky, my company offer 2 choices for my contribution, either to put it into the Roth 401k or the traditional 401k. I would put my money into traditional 401k during my higher earning years where my marginal tax rate is 22% or higher. But I would put the contribution into a Roth 401k early in my earning years where my earnings are lower, where my marginal tax rate is 12% or less, and or the effective tax rate is 10% or less. The difference between traditional 401k and Roth 401k is how the money is taxed going in, how the money is taxed while it's growing, and how the money is taxed when you withdraw. So traditional 401k, the money goes in before tax. The growth is tax deferred, but when you draw at 59.5 or later, it is taxed as ordinary income. Whereas Roth 401k, it goes in after tax. The growth is tax-free, and if you withdraw after 59 at 59.5 or later, it is tax-free. Both incur a 10% penalty plus ordinary income tax on the withdrawal if you withdraw before 59.5. The second order of operation is to have 3 to 6 months of emergency fund. That is because life happens. You don't want to start investing outside of 401k until you have financial stability. So this way, you don't make irrational decision based on your emotion because you can't stand the stomach volatility. Because once you invest in the market, you have to let it take its course. You have to stay the course. And you don't want to start selling because of fear of losing everything. By having the emergency fund, you allow the money to do what it does best, which is growing your money with compound interest and time. The third order of operation is to put money into health savings account, HSA. HSA, a health savings account, is not for everyone, but if you're healthy and you have an emergency fund to cover any unforeseen medical event, where all you need to do is go to the doctor for a yearly physical, this can be a great option because you can now be in a high deductible premium plan, which allows you to contribute to the HSA account. And then inside that HSA account, you can put into the investment suite portion of it and invest that into the market. It is a triple tax advantage. It goes in tax-free, and it grows tax-free, and any qualified medical expenses are tax-free. The other benefit is after 65 years old, you can withdraw for any reason outside of qualified medical expenses without the 20% penalty. You just have to pay ordinary income taxes on that withdrawal. A fantastic investment option, not just for the medical premium portion of it. The fourth option is I will put money into Roth IRA, individual retirement account. because withdrawal after 59 and a half or later is tax-free. The money going in is before tax. The growth is tax-free. And before 59 and a half is tax-free only on the contribution and 10% penalty plus income taxes on the gain. But if you withdraw at 59 and a half or later, it's all tax-free. I can't emphasize this enough. Withdrawal from Roth IRA account at 59 and a half or later are all tax-free. If you happen to have $500,000 or $1 million in Roth IRA at 59 and a half or later, it's all yours. The next order of operation is to put the money in taxable brokerage account. That's because I want the 100% freedom where there are no age requirement on the withdrawals and no early withdrawal penalty, just taxes on realized gains and dividends. The money going in is after tax. The withdrawal, it doesn't matter how old I am, I just have to pay on the realized gains held for more than 1 year, and qualified dividends are taxed under the capital gains tax bracket, and realized gain held for 1 year or less and non-qualified dividends are taxed under ordinary income tax. The last order of operation, I will go back and max out the retirement accounts mentioned above, like 401k, HSA, Roth IRA. But that's only after I satisfy my taxable brokerage account for passive income that I need before 59 and a half. This is where my order of operation is different than the majority advice you find on social media. That's because I value true freedom. That is freedom to choose where to work, when to retire, when to pursue my passion and purpose, where work is not have to, but get to. The key word is when. I don't want to be restricted when I can take the money out. Retirement accounts are awesome after at 59 and a half and beyond. But if I want to retire or do something that I'm very passionate about, that I feel add more value to society, then having money in taxable brokerage account is important. I also understand you can do a Roth conversion ladder from a tax-deferred retirement account without incurring a 10% penalty, but that is outside the scope of this topic. And with my target audience being low to middle class, not the high income earner, most of us probably don't have to worry about that Roth conversion ladder. Also, I have not discussed contribution limit, phased out, rule of 55, and required minimum distribution, but you can easily Google what those are. I put it into this format so you can easily pause it, take a screenshot, and have a good understanding on why I have these different steps of order operation and the different benefits as well as a different tax implication. What I hope you get out of this episode on Friday, July 3rd, one day before we celebrate our Independence Day on July 4th, is if you follow these order operation where you allow your hard-earned money to grow money in the market, to grow your garden of wealth, you too can achieve true freedom.